Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today we are going over another 2011 style 1911 double stack pistol from Alpha Foxtrot, and that is the 5-inch Romulus. So let's get into it. So I've had this thing for a few weeks now. It is on loan from another channel, the Direct Thread channel. William over there. I will leave a link to his YouTube channel down below in both the description and pinned comment, because I think he has, if he sticks with it, I think he's got a bright future in gun tubing. I think he's one of the better creators out there, but he's still growing. So any support you can throw his way, even if it's just for a thanks for sending this out to make this video, that would be much appreciated. Alpha Foxtrot does not know that I have this. They did not send it to me, and I'm certainly not being paid for this video. And if they did know I had this, they would probably be really upset with a lot of things I'm about to say. So to the YouTube censors, I am going to talk about price in this video at some point in time. It is not a promotion, a sale. I'm not selling any regulated goods, and I'm not breaking any of the community guidelines. All I'm doing is informing the viewer with as much educational information as I know how to do in order for them to make any decision that they may make in the future. So a little bit of backstory really quick on this particular pistol. This is Direct Thread's second one of these. His first one, he had to send back, I do believe, 2 other times with a number of problems with it, from the slide getting kind of stuck open, hammer follow, all kinds of reliability issues, things like that. He sent it back, they sent it back repaired. It wasn't repaired, he sent it back again. Then they sent him this brand new one. And when it appeared that the problems have persisted, so I will get into those in this video. So a few quick specs about this. Again, 5-inch version. There's a lot of things about this gun that I really like. The slide is like buttery smooth. It's as smoother than the Match X from EAA was when I first got it, and you guys know how much I drooled over that. So the slide to frame fit is amazing. The slide is a stainless steel slide, DLC coated, has decent front serrations, has some anti-glare cuts in the very top of the slide, and it is RMSC footprint compatible. He has a, what is this? The Holosun 507 comp on it right now, the green comp. You can get plates for it, and I do know that he paid $1,700 for 2 plates, 5 mags, and the pistol as a package. So that's sort of a little look ahead there. So he has the 507 comp on it. As far as all that goes, the fit and finish seem okay. The steel part of the frame is stainless steel as well, DLC coated, and then it has the polymer grip module, as a lot of the 2011s do. It does have the grip safety, has a flat face trigger that feels very good. As far as the brake goes, it feels very good, but it has a really soft reset, much softer than any striker fire pistol I can tell you that I've used, and softer reset, less forced reset than my EAA 2311s. But as far as the brake goes, the brake is super consistent and really light. I actually think it's lighter than 3.5 pounds personally, but I haven't put a pull gauge on it. But it's an extraordinarily light brake, very nice, good smooth slide. And yeah, now the grip tape on this is something he added. I've never shot this with the standard grip on it, so I don't have a reference there. But the grip tape has, it's a real controllable gun. It has a decent recoil impulse that I can tell. But again, there's a ton of grip tape on here, and I have no frame of reference for shooting it without the grip tape. But in comparison to other 5-inch, 4.5-inch, some of the 2011s, 2311s I've shot, this shoots, about as well as any of them do. There are ones that shoot a lot nicer. They have comps on them, and there are ones that are considerably more expensive than this that I also shoot better. But in its price range, I don't know that this one shoots, as far as controllability, too bad. Now, going down from the grip, it does have a very exceptional mag well here. Real nice open mouth, very generous. And if your hand's big enough to get down to it with your pinky, it does cradle the hand nicely. So to this point, I have shot a little over 500 rounds through this pistol. About 100 or so of those were Wolf brass case ammo, 250 rounds. Yeah, 250 rounds this morning of this Remington UMC, 115 grain, and I've shot about 150 rounds total of this Range Dynamics, 115 grain Fiocchi, and 40 rounds of this Blazer brass 9mm hollow points. So, as far as round count goes, a decent round count to get a really good idea about how the gun is functioning, acting, reacting, and reliability, things like that. Now, as far as accuracy goes, it's a 5-inch 2011. You got to screw up pretty bad for it not to be at least reasonably accurate. And this has been a very accurate gun. Some of the overlay video that you've seen, I just was shooting ragged holes in cardboard targets at about 15 yards, and just accuracy's there. Very accurate gun, very reliably accurate gun. There's no like wild flyers or anything like that, and that's across the board with the ammunition. However, it's not been very reliable, and this is where we get into kind of the bad things about the gun. Now, at its base price, this gun that I'm holding in my hand, the 5-inch bull barrel model, is just under $1,400. Which wouldn't be horrible if the gun worked right. In the 500 to 600 rounds that I've shot through this, I've had about 50 malfunctions. I want to preface that with probably 10 to 15 of them was with that Wolf brass case 115 grain. I say, prefacing it with that is because I've also had problems with that ammo in Glocks, in Canics, and in my EAA pistols. So that ammo, very specifically, not great. Not great ammo. I would say in all the 1,000 rounds of it that I've shot, I've probably had 40 to 50 malfunctions in 1,000 rounds, which is wholly unacceptable. But Fiocchi, things like CCI, things like this Remington UMC, this is stuff that I've shot tens of thousands of rounds of, and it's wildly reliable ammo in my experience. However, even with some of that reliable ammo, I have had a number of stovepipes. I have had a number of failure to fire, so like light primer strikes. I have had hammer follow with it. So I know that people that are big fans of this gun are going to pick this apart like, well, light primer strikes could maybe not be the gun, maybe be the ammo, things like that. This thing has had a number of issues, not to mention that it started rattling itself apart about 200 or 300 rounds into it, where there's a screw in the end of the guide rod here, almost fell out. Had I not caught it, it would have been lost somewhere here in the desert. So I've had to snug that up at least once in order to keep it from rattling itself apart. But again, mostly light primer strikes, mostly hammer follow, some stovepipes, things like that. And then the ejection on this intermittently is super, super, super light. Like shooting, and then one round or one shell casing just kind of tumbles out and falls down my hand. Things like that. Very erratic, very unreliable ejection pattern, and or ejection force, I should say, and just pretty unreliable. I mean, if you take 50 malfunctions in about 500 rounds, that's 10 per 100 rounds, that's not good. Even if you take away 20 of them because of that wolf ammo, let's just go high. You take 20 of them away with that wolf ammo, that's still 30 in 500 rounds. That's still, what, 5 or 6 per 100 rounds of malfunction. So yeah, I can't say that I would recommend this pistol until Alpha Foxtrot figures out how to build a gun. Because as far as I can tell, from the one he had the first time that they gave up trying to fix and just sent him a new one, the new one having a lot of the same problems that the old one did, this seems to be something that's an ongoing issue. That said, when it was running right, it ran great. I mean, I can't complain about the other, the 50 rounds malfunction out of 500 rounds. I can't complain about the other 450 rounds. Accurate, shot well, decent recoil mitigation for a gun this size. It is heavy, so that helps because it is a stainless steel frame and all that. It is a little heavy. It's not comped, so taking a lot of that stuff into consideration, it had pretty good recoil mitigation. Not uncomfortable in the hands. The controls, all the controls and everything seem to work fine. The trigger's nice and light, albeit not a great reset. But of the other 4 to 5, 450 rounds, I don't have any complaints. My issue is that 50 malfunctions in 500 rounds is unacceptable. Now, I know I've brought up EAA a couple times in the past. I mean, you can pick up the Match X. It's comped, takes the same Checkmate magazines, all that stuff for like anywhere between $100 and $200, $300 less. So that would be the route that I would go if you're into a full-size 2311, 2011 type pistol. That, in my experience, is a far better gun than this one in almost every way. Got a little bit heavier trigger than this one does. Doesn't cost much to lighten that up. And that's all I've got for the Alpha Foxtrot Romulus. I cannot recommend it based off of my experience and based off of William's experience, knowing that he takes shooting very seriously. He does competition, stuff like that, and he needs his guns to run well. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe. Again, go check out the Direct Thread channel. Go give him a thanks for sending this out to the channel so that I can make some content with it for you. I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll talk to you later.